Alright, so welcome back to the first episode of Season 2 Mobile Mukbang.
It's been a year.
Well, every month we try to put out a new video, but this year we've got a theme, and that is sub sandwiches. So we're going to try a bunch of different sub sandwiches, and today we're starting out at Jimmy John's. Freaky fast, right? Well,
I don't know. The card reader wasn't so fast for you.
Yeah, okay, so that wasn't so very fast. The card reader here is always just kind of a problem. So, let's start out with the food roll call. We got to introduce ourselves, actually, but I think by now everyone knows us. Yeah, everyone knows us. Andrew.
Michael.
Take a guess.
So, alright, Sam.
Troll, Sam.
What did you get? Because that is a giant monstrosity of a sandwich.
I got a number 10, which is the roast beef with provolone cheese. I chose to not get the mayo on it because I'm not a big fan of condiments like that. But otherwise, it comes with tomatoes and lettuce. I got the giant one, which is 16 inches. And then I got a suicide drink that feels like it's about to fall off the edge of the table. So, then we're back.
We are on a very small table today. Normally we have a big booth, but this is not
really Jimmy John's thing.
Yeah, this is a smaller Jimmy John's, so we're kind of working with what we got here.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, holding up the giant bread scepter. I mean, it is a big sandwich. I'm not going to lie. That is a big sandwich.
Yeah, it's a lot of roast beef, but
now that's not all roast beef. You also got a monstrosity sandwich?
I got the giant gargantuan.
You're about to lose half your sandwich.
Yeah, it's not like you save any money. You don't save any money by getting it twice as big.
It's not necessarily always about saving money.
I guess I would have just ordered.
It's got everything.
Of course it does.
We can have it cut in two.
Could. That's true.
But that's civilized.
So why don't you hold a vertical sandwich? Because
you might make a mess of this.
Yeah, that's okay. And then I just got the normal sandwich, so just mayonnaise, cheese, and ham and lettuce. So mine is probably the most reasonable sandwich here.
Nah, you're just a plain Jane.
Plain Jane.
Define reasonable. Anything about me isn't reasonable.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong. Then for sodas, I got the Fused Raspberry Sweet Iced Tea.
I got a mix of cherry Coke, regular Coke, and Dr. Pepper.
And mine is primarily the Fused Raspberry Tea as well. However, I splashed cherry Coke and the lemonade they added, so it's got a bit of a taste.
Now, one thing that Jimmy John's does, that I don't see any other restaurant that I know of do, is when they have the bread, they remove the inside of the bread, so they kind of hollow it out. So that means there's just a bunch of bread randomly somewhere just piled up of innards, you know. But
I think Panera does that for some of their stuff.
do they?
Yeah.
Some of it.
I mean,
Sort of.
it's like Jimmy John's is saying, hey, don't really focus on the bread. Focus on the inside of the sandwich. Think inside the sandwich. That's kind of what they're getting at here.
Think outside the bun.
Whoa. Different restaurant, man. Different restaurant.
Is it?
Really? We've been...
I know.
The Hamburglar over here doesn't seem to know. You know, as far as sub sandwiches go, it's a pretty simple setup. Now, granted, you two got these monstrosities. Did it cost any extra to get all that meat?
It's just a standard price that they have listed.
I feel like I got gypped. I mean, if you guys paid the same price as I did and got like 3 times the amount of meat.
Oh, no. There's a little bit of extra price.
Okay, because I was going to say, hold the phone, I feel like I may have been left out.
Okay, well, let's see. How much?
This
did
was
you
like
spend?
$8 with the drink.
Mine was like 14 without the drink.
Wait. If it was 14 without the drink and you got double the sandwich plus more meat. What? Hold on.
In total, it was about $33 between the
So that
two
was like-
sandwiches and the two drinks.
So that's at $16 a sandwich. Or $15 a sandwich, which either way. What? How did you guys get more meat than me for the same price? What is this garbage? Okay. Lesson learned.
The girl thinks we're pretty.
Right.
Well, maybe not them so much, but yeah.
I got the gargantuan. Of course, it's going to be a lot of meat.
Yeah, but for the same price, like, what's all the meat that you have? You have ham, salami, cheese, and what else?
Some roast beef, ham, turkey, roast beef, salami, turkey, provolone cheese, lettuce, tomato, mayo.
And you were ragging on those big burgers.
I didn't even get all that much ham. Like, this isn't as much ham as I got. That's not a lot of ham.
Don't know what to tell you.
How are you paying so much less
Okay,
for so much more?
Each set of meats is proportioned.
Still, they
The
didn't charge
16
you.
inch-
They
okay,
didn't charge
that's
you for
an
double
8
meat.
inch. This is a 16, so we have two proportions of each meat.
You're saying the meat we have is thicker, like, if you view it from it.
Like, normally if it's not just ham, they charge you for another set of meat. They didn't do that.
Because it's on their menu. We didn't have it custom made.
Well, what did you guys get?
The gargantuan. It's literally called the gargantuan.
I feel so ripped off. I mean, I just went with the normal ham sandwich. Jeez.
Jimmy John's is a little bit weird as far as I'm concerned for sub sandwiches. Like, they don't offer the option for grilling, and honestly, I'm not even sure the subs so much as just deli sandwiches on a what's this bread called?
Sub bread,
No,
French.
Thank you.
a baguette.
Yeah.
Okay, revelation time. Don't bother with the regular sandwich.
Depends on how much you usually eat. Because I mean,
Well, if we're talking about value here,
Yeah,
then
the
clearly
gargantuan-
I
The
lost.
gargantuan comes with salami, capicola, turkey, roast
Quick note.
beef, ham, and provolone.
he got the gargantuan. I just got the full size number 10. What the heck that was?
Number 10, the double roast beef and provolone.
And how much did the gargantuan cost? Just an 8-inch.
Gotta go through.
Because this is a huge price discrepancy towards the amount of food you get.
$8.69
Okay,
for a
and
regular
then,
8-inch.
and then what is the price?
$16.89 for the 16.
Okay, so then what's the price for just, what is the number 1 for the
Is that
regular?
what you got?
I think. Or is the number 5? It's just a ham sandwich.
The classic. The number 1, ham and provolone, is $5.59.
Is that what I got now? Hold the phone. Let me look at my receipt. Okay. Number 1, Pepe. $5.58 plus $1.75 per soda. Okay, so I paid $5.58 for this ham sandwich. Those extra meats bring you up a few dollars to $8 a sandwich. Is that correct? Okay. All right. That makes a little more sense. Because if you had double meats or whatnot, then I guess it's just...
You're under the classics menu. We're under favorites.
Clearly. That is a big sandwich. I find myself wishing I had perused the menu longer. I thought I knew what I want because I've been getting the same thing for years. I'm finding out that that's a bad idea.
I'm sorry.
Your 16-inch would have came up to $10.49.
So we paid 50% more than you for the same amount, effectively.
Well, more like 30% more.
No.
If a regular 8-inch is 5, and that's
no.
8.
If what you got at the full length is $10, and we got was 15, 16, then it's roughly 50%. Which is weird because you're right, for the 8-inch ones it would be a 30% difference, but for the 16-inch it's a 50% difference. The math is weird.
So then which one's actually a better deal, the big one or the small? Because it looks like... No, I'm talking about...
I mean, there's a lot of ways to factor that, though. Like, me personally, I look at calorie count. Because I know get...
Well, let's consider the amount of food per dollar here. So if you go double, so if you get the 16-inch, it's not exactly double the price. It's like a few cents less than double the price. So then, if your guys' was 8 at an 8-inch, it would have been $16. Okay, versus $10 for mine. That's more like a 60% increase price. So, but if you go back, well, yeah. If you go back to regular, it's 5 versus 8. That's I mean, just the math in my head, just rounding it out. Okay, it's a little confuzzled here.
No, it's about the same.
Yeah.
Because half of 5 is 250. So add 250 to 5 and you get 7.5. So it's not quite as good a deal, but it's pretty darn close. But like I said, there's other... Depending on exactly what you're after, I mean, 2 pounds of lettuce is not the same as even 2 ounces of meat.
No, I get that.
So
it's just, this is a lot more math and trying to figure things out than I thought the first episode of Season 2 was going to be. Are we going to be doing this with all sub sandwich places now? Figuring like, oh, which one's got the better one? Oh.
I have an answer to that. Or rather, maybe our watchers do.
Go on.
If they want more math, then we can give them more math. I mean, usually we just shoot the breeze about random tech stuff, but if they want food efficiency values, then we can lean that way.
I mean, that's what's going through my head. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, when we thought we paid the same amount per inch, then I feel like I'm ripped off. But now that we looked into it, okay, not so bad. I mean, we're still going with that. But I clearly made the wrong choice. Clearly.
And apparently it has been for a while.
Yeah?
I told you, your nose is shrinking.
Well, either way you slice it, the sandwich was good.
But this is sliced pretty thick.
I mean, well, I'm glad I only got the 8-inch because that means I only made half of what could have been a larger mistake. So I could always go, if I wanted to match the overall length of the sandwich to your guys', at least I didn't fall completely off the rails in terms of my selection. I could always go back and ask for another 8-inch.
True. Though you lost a little bit in efficiency. Not much, though.
Well, you know what? I learned something today, and that is almost as valuable as the food.
I dare say more.
Knowledge is power, as they say. I mean, I'm looking at this. Ham, salami, roast. That's kind of the same setup as Mr. Sub, almost. If you think about it.
Just thicker.
We got a lot of sub sandwiches in our future.
We do.
But, okay, so at this point, I know you guys, okay, you've already eaten more than 8 inches worth of sub. And you are about to finish 8 inches worth of sub. I finished my sub, although easier to finish what there's less of. So I guess it comes down to, now that we figured out the sandwich economics of the situation, close to the sandwich economics. That's going to be the new thing, sandwich economics. Why is that not a college level course? So, is there really much more to say here? I mean, it feels like as if this is going to be a really short episode.
I mean, really, can you blame it? It's not like we're sitting around waiting for our food to be delivered either.
That's true. Jimmy John's does make it freaky fast. And fun fact, my brother actually used to work at this Jimmy John's. Yeah. So he would get discounts on sandwiches and stuff. I would always come in, and I would always get the day-old bread, which is absolutely worth the money. To get a baguette that large, I always cut the baguette in half, put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. And then whenever I want to make a sandwich, I just take that sandwich bun out and defrost it.
It's what, like a buck?
Less than $1. It's like 50, 60 cents for a 16-inch. Now, that is an even better price than the supermarket. So there's something to be said about that. And I like the fact that they don't just throw out the food. People do come in and get it. And sometimes, if you order a large amount of the baguettes, like if you say, hey, let me get 6 of the day-old bread, sometimes they just give it to you for free. I've had that happen several times. When I was young, living about a half-hour away from here, I would ride my electric bike from my house to the Jimmy John's, and I would pick up a bunch of the day-old bread, throw it in my backpack, and then head on home, and I would make my own sandwiches because back then I did not have the luxury of going out to eat, but I did know a good deal when I saw one. So there's always something to be said about that. So, given everything that we know now about our sub sandwiches,
we know nothing about the sandwiches. We only know about the economics of the sandwiches.
well, that's what
now
we're
we
here
need to get to know these personally.
I mean, if you want to become romantic with your sandwich,
I mean,
That's in the privacy of your own room.
okay, let's not get too far into that conversation. So I guess we need to kind of close out what we've been doing ever since the first episode. Is it worth the money? Like, is it good and is it worth the money? I'll start. No. After seeing what you guys got for the price you paid, I am rightfully jealous and feeling a little bit dumb because for a few dollars more, I could have gotten what is arguably a much more complete and filling sandwich, which I feel really dumb about now. So, I mean, that being said, the classic ham sandwich, if you're not an adventurous person and you're just there to get the basics, it's still a really good sandwich. I mean, it's a clean sandwich.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who asked them to keep the bread on the inside. they almost always just kind of like scrape it out, and that kind of just, like I said before, it makes you focus on what's in the sandwich more than the bread itself. I feel like there's a lot of sub sandwich places that rely really heavily on the bread to do most of the lifting in terms of flavor, and Jimmy John's is kind of like, no, we got our own thing. They use Hellman's mayonnaise, which Hellman's is usually considered one of the better mayonnaise. The lettuce is always fresh and crispy. The ham's pretty good. I think it's just Black Forest ham. I could be wrong. And, the cheese is always, on point. So, all right, for a basic ham sandwich, not bad. Could you do better? Yes, you can, and we'll be going over that later on in the season.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Well, I mean, we got some places to go to, but for a basic ham sandwich for $5.50 for 8 inches instead of 6, I might add, because let's not forget, Subway is a 12-inch or a 6-inch. Everywhere else is kind of the same, but here at Jimmy John's, it's 8 or 16-inch. So,
actually,
kind of call for that.
What's Mr. Subs? Because I feel like
Mr. Sub is still 6 or 12. Yes. It depends on which sandwich, but almost all of them are 6 and 12. There's a few of them that are slightly bigger, but that's kind of a weird discrepancy we'll get into later when we go over to that restaurant. But in the grand scheme of things, Jimmy John's, for $5, you're getting a bigger sandwich.
Well, actually, fun fact. For all the years I've been going to Jimmy John's, I have not had a separate sandwich, a different sandwich, than the gargantuan.
So you're kind of like me. Once you find something you like about a restaurant, kind of tend to stick with it. Like I said, I feel silly that I didn't go and get something like that. But what are you gonna do?
My grandmother gave me money. He's like, okay, go buy yourself a sandwich. I looked at how much meat were on all the sandwiches and that. I'm like, you know what? Why not?
To be fair, their menu over there isn't the best laid out menu I've ever seen. So it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on.
I don't think it's bad so much as it's different. Because once you actually look over it, you see how it's just organized differently.
Yeah, I guess.
Most places, they organize their menu by the type of food it is. But since they have all the same, deli sandwich sub type deal, they can't really do that the same way.
I guess, and it's worth looking over. But I guess at this point, Mike, did you like your sandwich?
Of course. The gargantuan's always good.
Yeah, especially when you compare it to what I got.
Plain Jane.
Yeah, I'm regretting that. But to you, $16-something for just a sandwich. Do you think it was worth the price?
Completely.
I mean, just looking at the amount of food for what you got, I'd have to agree. It's a monster sandwich, dude. The fact that you're trying to go through all 16 inches, and the fact that Sam is already almost through all 16 inches of sub sandwich.
The only reason I'm waiting is because I know I'm up next.
That's a fair point. So I guess we know where you stand. So Sam,
but yet I still didn't get the other parts I usually get with my food. Usually I don't get the giant size. I get the 8-inch.
So then, what did you not get?
Chips.
Oh, okay.
Chips,
I mean,
cookies,
pickle, side foods. That's not really what we're dealing with most of the time. I mean,
but it completes the meal.
No, I get you. And we can get to that in a moment. But Sam,
I think honestly, in some ways, I was halfway between you guys. Because although I didn't have the fat stacks of meat like you did, I only had the one. It was a double serving of it, and I went with the full 16 inches. Pardon them. That's something going on, but nothing major. And I definitely enjoy it. The price tag isn't bad for the amount of food, but the one complaint I always have about Jimmy John's, everything's cold. It's deli. There's nothing wrong with deli, don't get me wrong. But when I think of a sub, I don't think of deli food.
What do you think of?
At least with the warm meat. So like
Like a Philly steak?
Philly steaks, like the meatball marinara is my go-to sub.
Okay, so you're more of a hot sub kind of guy.
But I recognize that that's not the only type of sub. So I'm just.
I mean, that's totally fair. I mean, granted, meatball subs are usually incredibly messy, just because of the
I don't have that issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I the only one who gets like marinara sauce everywhere when I eat that?
Personally, I've always been a very neat and quick eater. Like, I mean, look how much lettuce I lost. Like,
I'm the exact opposite. I'm gonna kind of shove it in my face hole and get it down.
I might have not lost a lot, but
it's still messy.
Okay, so
well, there's a lot of oil.
Well, with that all said, then, do you think it was worth the money?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be more than willing to pay this amount again. I didn't pay it this time because he owed me a sandwich, but that's beside the point.
Okay. Fine. So you owed him a sandwich. All right, that's fine. All right, so
he bought breakfast.
Okay. That's true. You guys went out to get breakfast in the wee hours in the morning. So I guess that leaves us with, for once, I'm the odd one out. Normally, I find a lot good to say about a particular restaurant because I usually know what I like. But when it came to what I'm now seeing that I'm missing, I feel almost cheated by my own stupidity for not looking deeper into the menu. But the menu is
cheated by your nose.
Nah, funny. I feel cheated by my eyes because that is clearly a bigger sandwich for what is arguably not much more money. I think it's a better value. So at the end of the day, my sandwich was good, but we could definitely do better for the money here.
Quick interjection before we continue this little circuit of conversation. I think what we should also bring is a ruler.
Oh, you know what?
Ooh.
That's not a bad idea.
So
The real tape measure, because as you know, with Subway, they were caught only having 11-inch subs, but that was due to the baking process. Still, people sued over it.
and got away with it in a way.
Well,
in a way.
There was a class action lawsuit that kind of won, and then one guy didn't want to settle, so he was sued on his own and lost. So I'm like, okay.
Like I said, kind of. It had a lasting effect in how Subway works.
That's true. They did change the pan in which they make the bread. So,
And they now have a ruler.
yeah.
That's a first.
Sorry, guys.
Flying camera.
Yeah, apparently.
I would love to see how that turned out.
I know. They'd be hilarious. Like,
Okay, so I think Jimmy John's, we've wrapped it up. This is the first episode.
Should we pick up a 50-cent day roll so you can measure at home?
Well, we'll pick up something, but
Yeah.
for right now, that's pretty much it, guys. This is
the first time I can say it on the show.
What's that?
I've been defeated by food.
No, you
oh,
haven't
you
been
can't finish your sandwich,
You,
huh?
you haven't been defeated. You simply have leftovers.
That's
You
true.
have dinner. Or you
That's
don't.
true.
Which means that your meal is even more valuable because it was 2.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So that's pretty much it. Season 2, Episode 1, Jimmy John's, the first of many sandwich joints to come this year.
Yeah.
So we
I
got
have the hiccups.
we got Firehouse subs coming up. We got
Will we able to find a Quiznos?
yes. There's a Quiznos coming up. Let's see what other ones.
It's a dying breed.
We did Subway already, so that's already off the
Already
list.
did Subway. Well,
Mr. Sub.
Mr. Sub. But the point is, we've got a ton of sub sandwich places coming up this season.
And some that aren't.
And the idea is one video per month. So if you want to stay up to date, and as soon as we get those videos up and going, don't forget to hit subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Nice.